I'm not sure um, things will get super better in the short term. I think you have too many folks invested. We've already seen some. I mean, it looks to me like President Trump and Stephen Miller, in particular, view this as a moment to exploit for political gain. Um, that is dangerous, and that risks, each side justifies their radicalization based on the other side. I mean, Donald Trump did it the other day when he was asked directly on Fox and Friends, "Hey, there's some fringe people, extremists on the right," and he said, "Yeah, but he butted it, right?" He said, but our extremists care about law and order. They're upset because of crime issues." He just sort of manufactured some rationale. But again, he was looking for a reason not to accept any piece of this, that somehow he has any responsibility here whatsoever, or has been a contributor to the violent climate that we all live right now in America. And when you don't have a leader who, even if he doesn't believe he's as big of a contributor as others believe he is, but if he doesn't have the ability to sort of, I don't know, he claims to be a Christian, so at least admit you've sinned. Because he has on this issue. He's not tried to bring people together, and he's never pretended he was planning on doing it. He says unity would be nice, but, right? He doesn't know any other way. The politics of division have been extraordinarily successful. And this is what is very frustrating, is that those that have power right now may believe they've got political power because of the politics of division, that the politics of division has been good politics for them, even if it's been unhealthy for the country. And that's where we have to change the incentive structures. It's been fun to look up all sorts of new quotes that people have been throwing out there. And there's a Milton Friedman quote that I wanted to share that sort of fits this moment right now. And that is this issue of incentives, right? Are our elected officials, does it matter whether they're good or bad? Or does it matter more if the incentives are good or bad? Here's how Milton Friedman argued. He says, what is important is not the particular person who is elected president or the party he belongs to. I have often said we shall not correct the state of affairs by electing the right people. We've tried that. The right people before they're elected become the wrong people after they're elected. We've all seen that, right? The important thing is to make it politically profitable for the wrong people to do the right thing. If it is not politically profitable for the wrong people to do the right thing, the right people will not do the right thing ever. Or either, excuse me. Look, I think our own experiences prove this. Our incentive structure. If there was a reward structure in our politics that punished dividers and rewarded uniters, we would have two parties fighting to say, no, we represent. We are the better unifying vision for America. We do not have two parties competing for a unifying vision of America. We have two parties competing that says their vision is wrong, their vision is wrong, any part of it is un-American, right? We do two things to each other. We dehumanize and we de-Americanize, and they're kind of the same thing, but in our political debate, if you can make somebody seem un-American, it makes you look. I have used the phrase, hey, that's, and I will say that's un-American. And I mean it from a defense of the Constitution, of what I believe the American way is. But I acknowledge that maybe the person I'm criticizing believes what they're doing is what they think is in the best interest of America. But the fact is, we do have this issue of a messed up incentive system. And in fact, we don't have, we have sort of a couple of problems. One is we have two parties who are not comfortable policing their own sides. And the thing is that we never want the other side policing our side. Who the hell do you think you are? You don't get, it's like you don't get to criticize a family member if you're not a member of my family. I get to criticize a family member that is a member of my family, right? We know that, hey, you don't do that. Right? We're a united front as a family. If we've got disagreements, we're going to express them ourselves. But that also means policing your side. And we don't police. Right now, there is a fear of policing your own side because it, quote, gives the other side a victory. Don't do that. Then you're acknowledging that the criticism was correct. So you've got a lot of muted Democrats and muted Republicans about the excesses of their political bases because there's fear, right? The information ecosystem rewards the extremes. The extremes are controlling the political narratives of both parties more so than ever. Because if you at all try to strike a moderate tone, you're enabling the other side. You're enabling corporate interests, or you're enabling the other side in some form or another. And it has led a lot of what I think, it goes to the Milton Friedman quote, there's a lot of good people who are not doing the right thing in this moment because there is no incentive to do the right thing. And if the right thing is to speak out, the right thing is to vote against a certain cabinet official here or there, the right thing is to say, not endorse somebody, not vote for somebody, make it clear why. But there's this fear, right? The incentive is not there. And so we have to change. We have to change these incentive structures. And it probably doesn't happen without new leadership. So what I would say here, and before I get to, I'm gonna do something here that's really, hopefully will chap the ass of hard left and hard right equally, and that is going to be a defense of both siderisms. I'll get to that in a minute on this front. But look, I do think you're gonna see both parties divide loosely between the peacemakers and the agitators. On the right, I think the agitators are in charge, right? That's President Trump, it's Stephen Miller. I think there are many in his orbit that want revenge, retribution, in some form, and do view this as some sort of ideological movement to be destroyed or eliminated, which is not American, right? And which is only going to serve to radicalize each side keeps using something the other side does to defend their radicalism. I promise you, behaving that way is not going to bring peace. If anything, it is going to bring more division, and it's going to only divide. And I think, frankly, there are political actors who are going to see this as a feature, not a bug. It's going to divide the left and divide the middle in ways that should just allow the right to keep power. Because I think the Democrats are also going to be split between what I would call essentially your peacemakers and your agitators. And it is, I don't see, the correct end of this story is Spencer Cox becomes president in the moment that we need in this moment. But I don't know where we are in 3 years. I certainly don't think the party that he belongs to would ever nominate him. And I'm not sure the Democratic Party would ever nominate him. He's pretty conservative ideologically. But he's moderate in temperament. Right? And that's something that we've been missing, is moderate temperament in our political leadership.